Hello, guys. Welcome back. Now, that was a long time, but I am going to sort this problem forever by making the changes. Next time, I'll be setting up on a laptop. I'm not going to trust this machine of Sagar. उसने बस धोखा ही धोखा दे दिया है अपने को. So right now, there we have. In between, I'll take out at some point, I'll take out 5 minutes, and I will be also setting on the laptop of Sagar, so that if anything goes wrong, you guys will not have to wait for 5 minutes. What I will do is I will restart it immediately, like the next second. So very sorry for this experience which you are getting, but I really cannot explain to you what the problem is. Today, Sagar had tried with the help of Ashwin Subramaniam to sort the problem, but it couldn't get solved, and we tried everything. Like he tried everything, but it seems that many people are facing the same problem related with OBS, and for some, it is not getting solved. So we will have to figure out later with a calm mind. That's why Vedika, the stream auto ended. I did not end it, but it just auto ended, and I am currently having the least of programs going on here. So most probably this should work. Okay, so Q says you should do postmortem analysis of how pawns and pieces died. Huh? Yes, okay. So while everybody joins back, let's get very serious and go to the main screen. You can see Gukesh, Oparin, they're all thinking. Let me go to the main game. What's happening? We left it at knight e7, c4, knight g6. We did not miss too much. Bishop e3 was played. In fact, we didn't miss anything. And here, Oparin already goes for c5. That's very soon. The pawn break is very soon. It's premature and it was not needed. He has not improved his piece position. This was not the time where that one chance to take such a break. This was way too early, and Gukesh, he has made the move. What did he go? He goes knight f4. He thinks a bit and goes there immediately. But guys, one question to all of you while I go to the main screen which we have over here. Nasir says, I am back. Are thank you, Nasir, and thank you all the 100 people who are back again. Sagar Shah is at Phoenix right now for a chess summer camp. All from Mumbai, all those from Mumbai, please join. Pri, thank you for becoming a new member. You're the backer of Indian chess. That is amazing. And becoming a new member over here, really big thanks to you. All of you must know that our new members, all of the membership amount goes to help chess, and from there it goes to the young talents, the upcoming talents of Indian chess who are in need of funds. Vedar says, just joining the championship. Who's gonna win? We cannot predict right now, but Gukesh on top board in joint lead, and he's black, and it's one of the most important games we are looking at. Vedar says, just joining the championship. Noah says, watching from USA. It's 7 in the morning, and this is the best way to start the day. Arey, kya baat hai, Noah? Welcome. Glad that you are watching from USA. Here says, doesn't this deserve to be punished? C4 doesn't seem right. C4, maybe you wanted to say C5. Okay, my first question to you. Over here, Gukesh went knight f4. But also the first question to you, all of you, that what is the move which I had mentioned while the stream was going on, that black must always be on his toes to check if that move is possible or not. Do you remember which move was it which I was mentioning? And that is the first question. Is it possible at this moment? Who is leading right now? Please check this out. These are the today's pairings, and there we have Oparin versus Gukesh on top board. 5th board Nihal Sarin on 4.5, and 6th Arjun with 4.5. Come back to the game right now. Yes, Sneha, Ohidus, Vedika, Pramila, Beloglavi, Surya, Nasir, VPAD. Absolutely. The first move which you have to consider is, if black goes for d5 because he is intending to go d4 and get protected past pawn. Yes, white is going to have these pawns over here. If white takes on d5, then the knight jumps to d5. The knight attacks this bishop on e3, and mind you, this bishop is definitely a powerful bishop and it cannot really go anywhere as such. All the squares are controlled, so in this sense it going back doesn't seem like to the spirit of the game. So knight d5, what is the only thing that looks scary is these pawns. They look a bit scary. Let's say for the matter of white completely ignores over here and says okay, you can take this bishop here, then takes. So this looks very dangerous to me for black, for white. And if white inserts the queen exchange and then takes over here saying that okay, now what is your plan, because I have this rooks over here, pawns over here, still there would be a lot of calculation with bishop a2, and maybe this kind of position Gukesh would not want to play. Having these pawns here, the knight placed here, getting some composition, maybe that is the reason he says no, not d5 right now, I am going knight f4. Of course this is also a strong move there, knight f4, but d5, how much time he took is something which I am interested. 1 hour 17 minutes he had, and he goes knight f4 after thinking for 12 minutes. I would assume that maybe 6 minutes were given to d5 and the next 6 minutes might be given for knight f4, or 5, 5 and 2 for some other moves. So knight f4 has been played. Now if white takes the knight, e takes f5, and if white moves the knight here, what should black play was my question, guys. Thinking, let me ask you anyway, what should black play? Noah says, thank you for a great analysis. Commentary analysis helps people all around the world get better at chess. Thank you so much, Noah. Aryan, Nightbot, I don't know how I should talk to you. Ashrit says, I'm Ashrit from Poland. I love Gukesh. Yes, we all love Guki. Checkmate says, yesterday I saw 5-month-old Nihal versus Prag match, and at the end I saw you two recording the game on mobile. Which was the game? If you may enlighten me. VPAD says, if Gukesh wins this tournament, he will likely qualify for the candidates via FIDE circuit points. That will be amazing. Is this tournament a part of that? Because I am not very sure about it yet. Knight e4. Exactly, right, guys? It feels like white, this pawn is hanging, but the point is, can he also go knight takes f4 over here and take this pawn over here? That's a question to you. Here, again, what should black play? Very easy move here. Not at all difficult. Knight f4, knight c5. Array, Surya has already mentioned, yes, you can take this pawn. D takes c5, and there is a disco also. You have won the pawn, another pawn also. You may say ki no, I want to retain the queens and attack this knight here and also avoid the exchange. Oops, what this arrow is? Kya kar rahe yaar? Huh. Okay. So that is possible. So not taking is not a possibility for white at all on f4. It's out of question. So white is thinking, Oparin is thinking, knight f4, you really don't want to take the e2 bishop immediately, but it's still a question and it's still a possibility that black can collect this bishop. One more question to all of you guys, whether it's here or not, it doesn't really matter, but when this knight is on g3, what is the move which we are also going to always have in mind, that whenever we get a chance, we go for that move? What is that move against the knight on g3? Just for our knowledge, 220 people are back here again. Last we actually had a OBS disconnection. OBS has been really, really hard on us, and it looks like a winning game with a blunder. That's how it happens. But I have to come back, I have to strike back, and I do come here again, setting up everything without knowing when it's going to go off again. Because when you don't know the problem, how can you solve the problem? To solve the problem, you need to know why it is happening. And I think this is exactly the thing which happens in life for certain specific situations where you just don't know why it is happening. Yes, yes, guys. Sakarche Sambarnath. Though your notation is not right, but I get your point. Graham, Raghav, Nasir, Vishwesh, Noah. That is also a thing for sure to keep in mind. But here we have the move which you keep in mind is h5, h4, kicking the knight away. And when the knight is on b3, it's a5, a4, kicking the knight away. So you have to be alert for that, because the point is when this move is a weak move and when it is a strong move, it's all about that. But at your level, at let's say when people uh, go into an intermediate level, at that level they start getting aware of the existence of such a move while considering the candidate moves. I think yesterday I explained what candidate moves is. Maybe at some point again I will explain. But when you're considering the options for black, if you are not knowledgeable about this idea, you will completely miss it at the right time. So knight f4 was played by Gukesh, and Oparin is thinking he has some crazy options there. c6, going c6, advancing the pawn and putting pressure there. What else does look, if cd6, which is more like simplifying, and let's say Oparin says, okay, no matter what, I'm in joint lead and I should be okay for a draw. Suppose he has this attitude and he's not wanting to create too many complications, and he exchanges pawn structure all on one side, king pawns are all one side, so there is no imbalance related with the pawn structure in that way. And after takes, white can bring his knight as well to c5, attacking the e6 pawn and b6 pawn. So one of the bishop, maybe black will have to exchange, because you see this bishop has no square on these both these diagonals, not even here. And you would not want to go back bishop c8, though it's possible, but could be possible to even exchange. So this is how the whole thing can simplify. Let's say takes, no, not rook fd1. Rook fd1 is a mistake because of black to play. Why is rook fd1 a mistake? Black to play. मेघांश बोल रहा है, कितना बोल रही है अमृता? अरे हाउ डू आई एक्सप्लेन इफ आई डोंट टॉक? London system game which had Sagar's commentary says checkmate. Oh, acha, nice. Himang says candidate moves are clearly the moves an election candidate makes. Yes, Surya. I like how Surya is writing very clearly. Knight e2, knight e2, and knight takes e4. Raghav also mentions win the e5 pawn. You might have meant the e4 pawn. Zoagi mentions knight e2 and then knight e4. Exactly. You have removed the guard and then you have captured the pawn. So this knight was overloaded. यहाँ पे उसको बोलते हैं कि it is overloaded. Too much of work on this knight. Okay, so that was the point. So not rook fd1, little things to take care of, and white will need to capture back with the bishop, so not able to control the d file immediately. And black has a better position because of the temporary temporary situation of getting this bishop activated, and the knight is very strong. The bishop is doing its job by keeping pressure. The rook is developing with another tempo there. So these are the things which could be and this knight is also tied down. So in general, black's pieces are more attacking, in an attacking role, and every attacking piece is valued more than the defender. Okay, so let's go back to the other games as well. While Gukesh is thinking, while Oparin is thinking, Nihal Sarin's game, after a3, Nihal thought for, oh my god, 32 minutes he took over here. Why? Definitely a question, why? So he will not be remembering theory, precise theory. Otherwise, you are not going to think for 32 minutes. There is no doubt about it. He would know all the ideas. That's no doubt again. All the ideas would be known. But he goes rook c8 and thinks for 32 minutes. What about Arjun's game? Because they also had Sicilian today. We were not able to check it out. अरे रुक hanging. Hey, rook is lost. किधर क्या हुआ? Sorry, what? Bishop f8. Wait, guys, I think I made a blunder, no? Somewhere. And where was it? Knight f4 takes knight c5, bishop c5. Ah, okay, I needed to play this rook. क्या बात है? Proud of the chat, very very alert कि अमृता कहाँ गलत जा रही है. Proud of you. Got it. Thank you guys. मिल गया. That was great. I am absolutely happy that you spotted that. सोए नहीं हो. That's a big evidence we have. Let's go to Arjun's game. e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, cd4. Queen c7 has been played here, and Kovalev goes g3 system. My last question to you was, do you remember the guy Kovalev? What do you remember? What is your memory about Kovalev? All of you have seen one video of Kovalev. I mean, I bet all of you. Because it was one of the very popular videos. You cannot miss it. And what do you remember about it? He is a GM. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Arey, Madhur, well done. You're the first one. Good memory. Magnus coming late to the game. Guys, in World Blitz Championship, Kovalev's round was with Magnus, and Magnus had not come on the board for 2.5 minutes. The game was of 3 minutes plus 2 seconds. And Magnus was not on the board. 30 seconds were left and his clock was ticking. Initially, Kovalev didn't even want to start the game. But as a rule, the arbiter had to say that you must start the game. And it was such an atmosphere over there. So Magnus, yes, Surya, Magnus 2.5 minutes late to the game. And finally, Magnus plays that game with 30 seconds. And I'm not gonna tell you the suspense of what happens later. Okay, but do check it out for all of you who have not seen that video. It's a crazy one. Okay, going after g3. So g3 system has been played by white here. And the idea in general is to place the bishop on g2, go castle, go rook e1. I mean, you can even decide to convert it into some other setups. But the main setup is to go rook e1 there with ideas of knight d5. This king is still on e8 and also threatening e5 ideas over here with exchanges. So these are the possibilities with g3 and he has gone for g3. But Arjun over here goes for a move h5 already. There is a hook and white to wait. He goes h5. White goes knight d b5. It's all opening still. Taimanov. This is Sicilian Taimanov here. What we are looking at. Knight d b5. Queen goes to b8. Bishop goes to f4, attacking here, knight d6 threat. Of course, the queen will get trapped, so you're forced to go e5, and then the bishop goes back. By provoking e5, what it said was, dude, I want the control of d5 square. As we know, yeah, the fight for d5 in Sicilian doesn't end. So bishop goes back to e3, and Arjun goes a6, kicks this knight away. You can see Arjun has 1 hour 29 minutes. Kovalev has 1 hour 10 minutes. In fact, ninth move has been played, and I will definitely want to check at which point did Kovalev use his time. Yeah, over here for e5 he did think a bit where to go. Maybe bishop g5 was his other choice, and he goes back here. a6, knight a3 has knight a3 is gone with the idea of knight c4, and here there are nice weaknesses for white. Arjun goes b5, stops this, and also there is a threat by black. What is black's threat after the move b5? Push karo khush raho, says Nightbot. That means push the pawns and be happy. So that way I think, so when I used to play bullet chess, and Sagar used to do commentary, and I would be only pushing the pawns, so wahan pe we had formed this whole thing. Push karo khush raho. b4 is the threat, very simple threat. Pawn fork is happening. White goes knight d5, typical of it. And black Arjun has to be careful because there are these dark squares which he must always be taking care of. Knight goes to f6. This knight is challenged already, and he says, if you go, Kovalev took on f6, but he says if you go knight b6 attacking my rook, and it has only move rook a7, and if you go knight c8 right now, again attacking this rook over here, what should black play? Question to you guys, what should black play? Venkatraman asks, why hair one side is short? Because Sagar cut my hair. Yeah. And no man is perfect. Yes, all of you who are saying rook b7, that's absolutely right. Important is the knight cannot escape here. So that's the point. If it goes back to b6, rook b6, bishop b6, queen b6, and material, it's still black is still exchanged down. You can see two minor pieces, rook for rook. So there is still knight for this rook over here, and pawns are also equal. But surprisingly, the bishop develops. There is attack over here. For castle, the knight jumps in. Again, there is pressure on f2. So all of this, queen e2, this knight jumps in. So there is a lot of compensation which black is getting by his active pieces over there. So that is interesting, and this should be something which they calculated on the board. So he, and must be opening as well. So he was not worried about rook a7 there. He goes, he was not worried about knight b6 there. By the way, important point to note, if knight c8, rook c7 is a blunder because the knight can escape. And you have blocked the square, so you cannot go that. And queen c8 would of course land up into bishop a7, knight a7, where it's not enough compensation because your pieces are not as active. So knight f6 was played. White takes on f6, g takes f6. There is a doubled pawn here, but The center is very solidly guarding the king on e8, and h5 h4 still in the air. H4 he plays, white does not want black's h4 to happen. He makes sure that he goes h4, and what Arjun plays here is a very very interesting move. Any guesses what Arjun played with black? Not easy, but I will definitely want you to give it a try without seeing the game. And whoever has seen, please ignore, please do not write the move in the chat. Whoever has not seen, only those right over here. I want you guys to be very true to yourself so that it becomes a habit, and that will really help you in your life. Trust me. इतने लोग d4 बोल रहे हैं, बट ब्लैक टू प्ले और d4 कहाँ आ रहा है? Where is d4 even coming? And so many people saying d4. मतलब either you guys are copying each other or you guys are absolutely messing up with the notation. But what's wrong, guys? Where is d4? This is d4 square. Bishop a3, bishop e7. Yes, I mean, exactly, these moves look natural. Bishop b7, bishop a3. As we know, this dark square bishop, it's possible at the right time, but not yet the right time. The knight is at the edge, not at all ready to jump in anywhere. It would be unnecessary to capture it currently. But all those who said f5, that's the move which Arjun played. Isn't it amazing? There were a few other possibilities, but f5 is extremely dynamic. His opponent takes the pawn. It was a free pawn, by the way. If you look at it, it was a free pawn. And why has Arjun sacrificed this pawn? Look at this diagonal over here. A completely open diagonal. What does it remind you of? Of course, white is going to keep his bishop on g2, not allow any nonsense discourse there, discovered attacks. But so isn't right now black a pawn down? What does he have with him? Arjun is playing very dynamically. Look at his understanding. ऐसे ही pawn दे दिया है. He could have developed bishop here, bishop to b7 at this point, bishop b7, but he didn't. Why? Why did he not go bishop b7? Let's come back to this question as well. Very important question to you. Arindam, yes, that's a good suggestion for sure. Deepali says center control. Center control, yes, if you get d5, maybe, yeah, but otherwise not. Knight d4. All in one answer. When will समय join? समय ही बता सकेगा, वक्त ही बता पाएगा. Knight d4. Guys, what should white player? Why did Arjun not play bishop b7 before going f5? What was the reason? Venugopal, you are right. Bishop h3 would stop f5 forever, and not just that, this pawn over here is weak. The bishop will sit on f5, and you do not want that. So a very nice move by Arjun, beautiful move, f5, ef5, and now he goes bishop b7. Another idea is so that even if he would later want this bishop here, e4 would be a possibility. There are these ideas, but let's not forget f5 is a doubled pawn, and that too can be attacked. So bishop g2 is definitely something Kovalev will play, and Arjun will have some options like knight d4. Very precise right now. Let's go to the main game. Hello everyone. Am I really back right now? Yes, all looks good. Okay, all looks good. I am back. Thankfully, the stream has not ended. And let's go to Gukesh's game because a few moves are happening. I think we have covered a top. Today, we are not getting any time to, hop from game to game. They are all making fast moves. Also, the positions are very interesting. Knight f4. CD6 has been played by Oparin after a long thought. And Bishop b6 has happened again. I just opened the door, so hoping that the internet range will not get. Is it all okay or is it getting disconnected again and again? I'm just not understanding because for me, the OBS is showing disconnected, disconnected. It's okay. So, Bishop d6, this is Gukesh's game. Let me show you the full screen for a while. Taking a 2-minute break here. Hi guys, I'm back right now. And yes, sorry for being away, but right now we have here over here Gukesh's game. I guess you all were following, and I was just trying to figure out some issues. So I guess a little bit better on that front. Need to write one or two more messages. Please bear with me while you watch the game. Okay, board you wanted big. I will be doing it. Well, okay, all good there. Fine. Focus because I am done with whatever things I had to settle with, and now time to look at chess. Let's go big screen. Gukesh's game over there once again. Guys, here we have the big board. All those who have joined right now, this is the top board. Gukesh on 5 points, the most important game. Bishop d6 के बाद his opponent has been thinking for a long time. 48, okay, another 15 minutes, and this is a big time advantage Gukesh has, half an hour more than his opponent with black, with slight initiative. This is the best he can get out of the opening. If he is able to beat Oparin, he goes to 6 points. This is his chance. Do you think he can beat him with black? So let's go to Nihal Sarin's game because Nihal is also on 4.5, and there have been Sicilian which we have seen. Rook c8 was the move which last he played. Knight b6, g5. Finally, the knight went to h5. Yes, but you cannot immediately attack it, and there is no trapping the knight. And after bishop b2, f4, will be answered by knight f4. So black is not worried to keep the knight on h5. This knight goes to a5. Not the best idea there, but he goes knight a5. Arjun Nihal goes queen c7. Here you can see there is pressure, indirect pressure on the c2 point, and knight d5 was played by Sanan. He is ready to already allow exchanges there and also ready to capture it with a pawn. Why? Because knight d5, yeah, here it's forced. Obviously, you couldn't go queen d5 and bishop d5. A question to you guys: white Sanan played queen takes d5 here, and did you realize black could go queen takes c2? But the problem after queen c2 here, king a1. Why did black not play queen c2? Can anybody give me the reason for black not going queen c2? Not the move, but the reason. Pranil says Gukesh gonna grind it and win it. Prag game. Yes, we will go to Prag's board as well. We have not seen so many games apart from top 3. But here, why has he not played queen takes c2? Who is the one who you can tell me? Rachit says because there is no mate and you can capture the knight. Exactly, that is the reason. The reason is just count the pieces 1 and 2. While white has 1, 2 and 3, black will remain a piece down because queen c2 is just a bluff. Nothing is happening over there. You remember here you gave bishop d5 and you gave the whole bishop, and now he takes queen takes a5. Two minor pieces in last two moves have been exchanged. So two minor pieces have been exchanged means it goes, the attack becomes a little bit of weakening. So it's definitely good for black, these exchanges. Right now Sanan's move here, he is thinking might develop the bishop on d3, which looks great, and black has things in the air later. There is a pin, so he cannot go for b4, but it's definitely in the plan to go b4 at some point of time. Okay, what about Arjun's game? Oh, this was Nihal's game. This is still in control. What about Arjun's game? Arjun's game, we had left last at f5, ef5 happened, bishop b7, and Kovalev played rook g1 after a long thought, 11 minutes. The very surprising fact is he did not go bishop g2, the most natural move, bishop g2. Was he by any chance afraid of the move knight d4, which attacks this bishop? And it feels like if you take here, then queen b7, and it looks just completely over. Yeah, you cannot castle. If you castle, what should black play? Yes, all of you who have been alert. Absolutely right. The knight jumps in, knight f3 check. Both these people together look like a deadly combination. The king cannot go and the king will need to go either of these places, but it won't be able to escape any discovered attacks by the knight in the future. Of course, right now immediately black can still just keep improving his pieces there. He did not do anything immediate, but sooner or later there are discos which are going to happen. Okay, so you can see how much winning black is in spite of nothing very immediate happening. Going back here, you cannot do this, but knight d4, he definitely had a move castle, bishop g2, king g2, and for queen b7 check, white had f3. So this was the position where knight f5 would have happened. This would have been attack, and maybe this is the position Kovalev was not very happy about, to keep these weakenings here and rook g8 in the air, and the king just feels very weak. What a play by Arjun. Amazing understanding there. So he White goes rook g1, definitely slightly scared over there. And now Arjun has played, what an amazing move, guys. If you have not seen his move, black to player, क्या ही move है, बढ़िया. For all those who don't understand Hindi, बढ़िया is amazing. It's like, wow. It's like awesome. Raghav says, thanks for the coaching session, ma'am. If there were lessons of this quality for 1500 players like me, I'll be happy to pay. Raghav, a lot of content there, which is very nice, very free, and Slow and Steady is a series by Sagar. Definitely you should watch it. If you take your notebook and pen and consider it as a session where you are paying, it, it's great because it will be a free one anyway, and you will learn. Yes, but definitely we will keep you alert. We do have some sessions by Nikhilesh Jain and sometimes more camps. We had a camp 2 months ago, 1 month ago, I guess, in Bhopal. So do stay alert for that. And yes, all of you who did mention d5, that's what Arjun plays. What an amazing move. If queen takes d5 over here, it's over because there is a disco here. Knight f3, check, and it will be over. So wonderful move by Arjun. And just look at his center here, the Sicilian here. This d4 is coming. Oops, sorry, no, that was not played. d4 is coming. This diagonal is opening up. I would say Arjun will be able to convert this because this is like a brilliant position he's got. Until now, he has played brilliant. 15 moves are over. But if this is how he will play, I have no doubt that we are having an most exciting game here. So these are the quick update. Gukesh just made a move right now. Oh my god, this is what we were looking at, and that has happened in the game. Knight c5, bishop c5, queen takes d1. The last, if you remember, rook d1 was a blunder because of takes, and knight e4. No, sorry, not knight e4. First, everybody had pointed the blunder out by me. First rook c8 and then knight e4. That was the main point. So, he played bishop d1, of course, and Gukesh moved his rook to d8 right now. He did not go rook c8. That could have been a stronger move, maybe slightly, not too much. But rook d8, what he liked more, maybe to have these two squares under control. White went bishop b3, challenged this bishop here on e6, and Gukesh goes rook d3, attacking this bishop again and telling him, ki boss, you can take over here, I'm not taking here. So bishop e6 most likely will be taken, and black will have a choice whether to take with the knight or with the pawn. This is Gukesh's position, all under control. Not so sure how much, it's very slight initiative, but not very difficult to equalize. There are these things where the bishop is eyeing the a7 pawn. You cannot really move the rook on a8 very easily. So definitely things are there, but e4 is weak and this knight is tied down. So a lot is happening there, but it seems like from such a position where the pawn structure is absolutely not in any imbalance, I would say Oparin could be able to fight here for a draw. Going to by the way, second board Samuel has drawn his game. He is on number 1, so he maintains his lead there. Third board is going on. It's also interesting, but Yakubev has slight advantage. Yu Yangi is in a bad position, and Nihal's game currently is very exciting against Sicilian going on there. Arjun has been playing fantastic chess. We now going to move to other games. Praggnanandha's game is super crazy. Whoa, what's happening there? IQP on the board over here. I think I have not seen it from move number 1. Uh, Queen's Gambit accepted was played, and right now takes it has. Okay, I'm back, but why was this not played? Sanjog asked, when are you coming to Indoor Phoenix? Not sure, nothing planned yet, but yes, sometime definitely. Okay, so why should black not take the pawn on d4 is the question. Can you let me know? Knight d4 is a big blunder. Knight d4 is a big blunder. Yes, Raghavan, super happy. This is exactly Abhibhav. Exactly. Well done, Raghav, Abhibhav, and others. Knight d4 is a big blunder, a very typical idea there. Queen d4, then there is bishop h7 check, and a disco is happening. So he cannot take there. He goes h6, bishop goes to f4, b5 has been played over here. Queen goes to d2. What black must be alert for is any sacrifice which could come over here. And also because white has an IQP, an isolated queen pawn, d5 is an what just happened? D5 is an idea that he needs to be alert for at the right time. So rook e8 has been played. A4 first, trying to break the structure. The knight goes to a5, and Prag finally gives a sacrifice. What a timing! Bishop h6, no fear. G h6, queen h6. Immediately anything is happening? No, there is h7 control, so no mate yet. He goes bishop f8. Prag goes queen h4 right now, and black goes b4, which is a terrible move here. He had to play bishop g7 and go for the safety of his king. He needed to make this move. Very important. And then what Prag would have played? Guys, any guesses here? How Prag would have continued the attack? Can you tell me? Okay, many of you want to go knight g5, which looks like the most obvious move to go knight g5. But are you threatening anything as such? No, there is no threat. You might be thinking knight h7, you might be thinking bishop h7, but the king goes to f8 and nothing really is up there. Black will slowly get some time to rearrange his pieces. In fact, even if he makes a move like bishop b7, he's fine. Even if he tries to go knight b3 and idea of queen d4, that also looks like in consideration. But what Prag has found a move. Prag makes an amazing move. Rook lift. Exactly. Rook e5. The rook jumps to e5. Ready to shift right now on the king side. At the same time, keeping an eye on this knight on a5. And if black makes a move like bishop b7, It's all going to be over. A check there. A check there. Bishop g7 will be forced to stop the mate. And the last move, white will threaten is a mate in one move. For that, what will white do here? The last over here, white can threaten mate in one. What should he play over here? Of course, this has not happened. He'll not go bishop g7. He first went bishop g7 in the game. But correct, Shreyas. Kadamakudi. Surya. Siddharth Narendra. Well done. Queen h6 is the move. And this mate is not possible to be saved. I mean, he can save the mate, but you win the piece anyway and with an attack. So what his opponent played was bishop g7 over here. Important move. It was an important move. And Prag will play rook g5. The attack is happening, but it's still not clear. The compensation is not direct yet. It's not clearly over. The bar says it's in control for black if he plays accurately. So what we need to check is it easy to defend this kind of attack? Who is attacking? Praggnanandhaa. So definitely Temur has to be careful. By the way, we have Murali Karthikeyan versus Hans Niemann over here today. This is the position. C4 was the last move by Murali, and Hans is having a very, very slight edge in this position. This was another Sicilian game, if I must tell you, and open Sicilian, knight off again. Wow, that is crazy. G4, H4, he started with the attack. He gave the dark square. Wow, that was a sack by Hans here. Rook takes C3. He gives an exchange sack in order to double the pawn structure, weaken the pawn structure. Everything is weak there. Now he shifts his knight to D7, and after takes, he wins a pawn over here, which was on G5. So this exchange sack looks really good for black and practically a bit tough for Murali Karthikeyan. This position is pretty tough to defend with Hans. Okay, let's go to Aryan Chopra's game. He is white, and guys, can you believe it or not? Another Sicilian. मतलब आज चल ही क्या रहा है? Crazy. We have open Sicilian again in Aryan versus Sheparino. This is knight off, but more Scavenging like structure I can see there. White has gone for early h3, g4, f4, and he will go for... Oh, he's not going for... Oh, he just simply went for short castle, which, by the way, in Sicilian is okay if you have such pawns over here. It's very often that you push this pawns and try to fill the space with your pieces there. So he castles bishop f2, some exchanges. In fact, white won a pawn here, but it was sacrificed by Sheparinov. And what is this move? Knight e5 there. Knight e5 was played. Aryan goes b4, because if you take the knight here, what happens? Black to play. What should black play here? Why is this move a big blunder? Nightbot says follow ChessBase India on Instagram here. Follow ChessBase India Clips channel here. Chess Ranga here. Arey Nightbot. Very, very active. By the way, guys, do check out Chess Ranga. All of you who could not watch the World Championship also live, we have Sagar has all the detailed questions over there with point system, so you can actually score some marks there. So those who are bored of studying and getting marks, maybe you can try over here and you will be your own teacher. Or maybe the AI will be the teacher. Yes, Surya, Bhavik. Raghav, well done. Rook d8 and the queen is trapped. You can see it doesn't have any. So after fe5, the queen is trapped. e7 is also not possible. So he goes b4 over here. Knight goes to c4. Queen c5. Takes. Okay, some exchanges did happen. And this is the position in Aryan's game. what a square this is, the d6 square. It's like a gold for the knight, so definitely knight is going to be jumping there. In fact, it's he's anyway going to just jump before jumping there because of such a square which is available. Going to Narayanan versus Vakidav over here. Narayanan is black and his position is slightly better with Vakidav. Okay, that's cool to know. Did Gukesh make a move? Yeah, by the way, let's jump to Gukesh's game because next move has happened. Bishop b3, rook d3. Oparin took on e6 and Gukesh takes with the knight. He thinks only for 1 minute and just look at the time difference right now. Oparin has 23 minutes. Let's not ignore that difference. It's one of the advantage. Bishop goes to e7. Oparin is absolutely in his element towards a draw. He is not being ambitious here. Sometimes it's very difficult to try and play such positions where opponent is okay with a draw, and then it becomes tough because you are trying, you want to try, but opponent is choosing the simplest of the variations and there's not much to do there. So looks like he goes knight e8. He says no, I'm not ready for the exchange right now, I'm not ready for the bad structure right now, giving your knight a beautiful square on f5, so definitely not. So he goes knight e8 here, and Oparin once again is put to thought. What is he going to do? The knight can jump to f5. Luckily, it's not a permanent square because sooner or later you will be defending this and pushing it back by g6. Another thing is to challenge what I think Oparin will try to exchange more pieces. That is what he has been trying. So he will mostly challenge the rook over here for the exchange. And after takes, black might go rook c8. Yes, rook c8 over here. Wait a second. Let me refresh this. Yeah. After rook fd1, black might play takes, and rook c8 over here, threatening rook c2. And yeah, this might be the position which we could land into. And if black goes rook d7, what should black play? Guys, checkmate in one move. Can you find it? Checkmate in one move. Arey, re. Everybody alert. But Nimish fell for the trap. Nimish fell for the trap. That's cool. Successful. So, Nimish, side by side kuch kar rahe ho. Definitely. Rook c1 is not a mate because this knight can go back, of course. But you don't have to worry. The whole point is black's knight jumps in on c7, attacks the b5 pawn. They both are like bachpan ke yaar. So very nicely together there, and this rook is going to be attacking all these preys there. He's like a hunter right now. So Gukesh will have the advantage, slight advantage. So that's why, oh, rook fd1 has happened in the game as I expected. Yeah, he is going to challenge to exchange. Let's see. Gukesh will be thinking right now, but Oparin is trying to make sure not to think too much. We can also see the bar says Dipali. Right, but I asked before making the move. So I did try to trick. Queen c7 here in Nihal's game. Another important game. Sanan is having double bishop advantage. ठीक है? तो अभी निहाल सोच रहा है 40 मिनट. He has 40 minutes. This queen is blocking this pawn. Now what do we say about a blockader? Guys, what do we say about a blockader? Who can tell me? What do we say about a blockader? Who can tell me? Queen is a terrible blockader. Kill the blockader. नहीं 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 नहीं. Queen is a bad blockader. Queen is the worst blockader. Says Sumit, Ujwal, Manul. Amazing. Well done. Exactly. For a blockader who, okay, let me frame the question in this way. Which piece is the best blockader? How many of you have no idea? Which piece is the best blockader? Jai, Abhishek, Jai, Manul, your boy, Mohammed, Deva, Ravikala. Very good. Knight is the best blockader. Absolutely right. If we are talking about the pieces, not pawns, knight is the best blockader. And queen is the worst blockader. What is the reason? That if the queen is attacked, okay, if this knight attacks the queen can't say कि ठीक है, I am still going to be here only. मैं इधर ही बैठूंगा, मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ कहीं पे भी, मैं इधर ही हूँ. No, the queen will have to move. Why? Because it's the highest valued piece there. What about the knight? If the other knight challenges the knight, which is a blockader, if यहाँ पे knight है, तो it can stay there. It can say okay, we can exchange. Knight d5 पे है, knight f6 पे है, ठीक है. But इधर अगर knight f6 आएगा, तो queen cannot stay here. That's why queen is the worst blockader. But luckily, in this case, for this queen on d5, black is not being able to attack it anyhow. There is no knight f4, there is no knight f6, there is no rook c5. So there is nothing, there is no light square bishop. So this is the rare situation where the queen as a blockader is working absolutely fine. Can we now go to Arjun's? This is Nihal's game and very interesting still. Oh my god, look at Arjun's game. Super crazy. After d5, his opponent played c3. Arjun is like d4. He's so precise in his calculations. No fear for him. C takes d4. What really he did? Again, you know, such moves he has found today. He played f5, deflected this pawn. Nothing immediate, but getting this light square. Just his understanding of his squares. Here, he plays d4, again provokes c takes b4. For what reason? Another square he jumps into. Bishop b4 check. Finally, this bishop, which had not captured the knight on a3, just look at this, doing such a great job there. It was important to stay. After bishop b4, this king goes to e2, which is a big shock there. Because what you would do is the last thing to move the king. So a question does come to the mind. Why not bishop d2? Why did he not play bishop d2 here? Can you tell me, guys? Why not bishop d2? Arjun's game is amazing. I mean, you don't get to see such a position often, yeah? In critical games. It's devastating for white. Yes, Surya, Aniket, knight d4 is jumping in. Once again, if you play bishop b4 over here, there is knight f3 check. Another thing, let's not forget, for king e2, this capture happens with another check. It's not like bus knight either knight takes maar diya hai. That's not happening there. So this knight d4 is a very powerful move, and all the time knight f3 is annoying. So he plays, his opponent goes king e2, saying कि भाई बस हो गया ये चेक, बार बार नहीं रहना है ये टॉर्चर में. I don't want this torture. Arjun says, no dude, you won't be able to escape the torture. The Sicilian torture, e takes d4 right now has happened, and if you play bishop d4 over here, black to play. What should Arjun play? What would Arjun have played if white would have captured the pawn on d4? Not an easy idea there. Wow. Wow. It's like, wow. Really, wow. I don't know if you guys know, like Sagar's nephew is there, and he is a big fan of Peppa Pig. And then when he was very little and he learned from Peppa Pig, and whatever he used to see, and if he would like, he was like, wow. So I don't know if it is a common story, but it it was very funny for me. Castle. Oh, people want to castle. I to completely forgot that even the Black King is exposed and that it can actually castle. I mean, that would be the move which I completely forgot. But I love this suggestion from all of you. Castle. क्या ही दिख रहा है? Advantage बहुत ही कम हो गया. That's another story there. But amazing. You have given him a bit of time with Bishop G2. It's a possible move. You have such a big advantage. But the move is very difficult. Let me just see quickly. Did anybody even attempt it? Tarun says queen e5 check, which did not happen because there was bishop on d4. So, not really. Shesha. Well done for finding it. Queen d6 or queen d8 are the moves. The point is, if bishop, that's why I said, yeah, this is not easy. It was extremely precise. One thing, one error here black makes, gone. That's why castle was a practically good move. It wasn't that kind of position. Here you are giving a check. And if the king goes to f3, there is another disco. You don't have here. Oops, you don't have squares over here. You don't have here. You don't have here. What's the only move? King f4. And again another check. What's the only move? King g5. And what's the final mate there? Guys, black to play quickly. 10 people, 2 seconds. That's the time we are gonna wait. Let me switch on. Lights are on. Sresha, Bhavik, Impatient, Rex, Beloglavi, Dawn, Suganya, Madhu, Priyang, Deepali, Ragul, Bhavik, and Azagappan. Okay, well done, Rashid. Queen g6 check and it's a mate. Queen g5 was not a mate, guys. H5 was happening. Okay, so this was definitely very cool. Again, let me just show you this final thing. He will not go here. He will go king d3. You will ask, Arey, full rook has been given. And this move, if you find, which I guess you will find because you are very much inclined towards that move. Black to play. Nice move. Funny move. You will feel joy when you type this move in the chat. Joy Datta. We are all missing Joy Datta. Yes. Bello, Ashik, Surya, Shesha. I mean, of course, Rook D8 is also working, obviously. But long castle, just a nice move there, and you also win the queen. So what a move by Arjun. Yeah, I mean, this was the only way to go. Yeah, if bishop d4, then I mean, this was the strongest way, and he would have had a masterpiece. But right now, Kovalev has gone bishop f4, has attacked the queen, and it's still important for Arjun to be on his toes. He cannot still mess it up. Like if he goes queen d8, it's still a mess up here. White gets bishop g2 on time. And now suddenly if you look, the bar is saying white is better. Why? In spite of this king being here, very surprising. But if you count the material right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, black is a pawn down. This king can get to a safer square and this king can stay exposed. ऐसा भी हो सकता है, what I mean to say. That's why Arjun needs to be careful and needs to go back bishop d6, challenge this bishop on f4. It's important. this bishop doesn't really have much squares. If it tries to move or something, then there are many ways that Arjun can continue. Even castle is one of the way. But yeah, even d3 at some point is one of the way. But the whole idea we know is this diagonal and the king on e2. So Arjun is better, going towards a masterpiece. Praggnanandhaa, who had sacrificed, and he went rook e5 here, bishop g7, rook g5. Amazing game. Another one going on here. King goes to f8. It's all about attack and defense. It's not just about attack, it's also about defense. Prag goes knight e4 here, trying to exchange this knight, because if black tries to say no, I don't want to exchange, then what should white play over here? White to play. Which is the strongest move for white? Can you suggest? Strongest. Yeah, I'm talking strongest. Prag has sacrificed a piece. Today is the most interesting day. Yes, all of you, well done. Queen h7 attacks the bishop. The bishop doesn't really have any square, so this is over. So knight e4, his opponent took on e4, and Prag took with the queen. Now, what is white's threat here? What is white's threat? Can you tell me? We will go to Gukesh's game as well. Oh, okay. I think he already played. Queen a8 was the threat. I thought many of you might forget about the queen side because the whole attack was happening on king side. And his opponent goes rook a7. If you look at the evaluation bar, the bar says very slight initiative for black. But what we are going to do is to not believe the bar. We really don't trust the bar when the king is dash. We don't trust the bar when the king is dash. Guys, what is the filling the blanks there? What is the fill in the blanks? All of you who have not heard me, again, we don't trust the bar when the king is dash. Yes, Don Jose, that was very quick. Well done. Exposed. When the king is exposed, you can use the word weak as well, but exposed for sure is important. That's where even if the bar says black is better, I'm like, dude, do you know what a hunter can do while he's hunting? So that's something which the bar is not going to know. The fear. So rook a7 here has been played, and Prag is thinking. But also I must make sure to mention here, guys. This is what I was going to mention. That if Prag is not precise in his calculations, he's not far away from losing any kind of attacking possibilities and even getting a bad position. And this is what we are looking at. Is this the effect of yesterday? Praggnanandhaa was winning. He played a brilliant game, and then at least there was a draw, but in the end he blundered. Today we can see the whole thing on the board. He wants to strike back. He has been playing well, but d5 already looks good to us. Forget about the bar for a moment, but this time it's not so much. Why? Because ed5 is happening. The queen is being attacked. The queen needs to save itself. If queen goes to h7, black this time has a simple way to defend his g7 bishop. How he will defend his bishop, guys? Black to play. What happens if he had sacked the exchange on g7? Vaidyanathan at which move? Because there was a possibility to do that for Prag. But which move do you want to know? Yes, queen f6, not queen g5 because it's protected. Queen f6 simply defends this bishop. So that's why queen h7 is not giving you anything here. Over here also, if he would go queen h7, still queen f6, and you have no threat. The bishop very well defends the h8 square. Also, you cannot attack the queen so easily. So he played d5, then ed5 will be played, I am expecting, and people are asking queen b4 check because that's a check. This is not hanging yet. The point is, look at this rook. It jumps to e7 and the king is very well defended. This looks like black has defended his pieces well. Maybe over here, finally after knight e4, it was important to still take with the bishop, so that if now the rook moves here, queen h7, you are attacking this, and if now queen f6, there was a problem. By the way, why was it not a problem in our calculation is something which we should go back and check. But over here, the problem is rook a5 is a problem as well. Plus, the problem is, wow, this is very interesting plan. Now what I'm going to do is to go back here and ask the same question. Why was queen f6? Oh, queen f6 is not working here. After d5 it was working, you see, because the ed5, the d5 pawn blocked this attack. Oh my god, that's why d5 is a bad move. Crazy. Wow. This was the problem, guys. d5 actually stopped this attack. It was important to keep the pawn on d4. So this is a big mistake which Prag has made. Big mistake, yeah. Okay, so this is Prag's game. We will come back here later. Let's go to Gukesh's game because that's, oh my god, it's going on. Knight, rook d1, knight d4 was played by Gukesh. He did not go rook c8. F4 here. You cannot take it, or can you take here? Because if you take here rook d4 and then you take here hg3, and this should be okay. The bishop dominates the knight here. So that should be okay for white. Prag went f6 here, fe5, fe5. More exchanges are happening, and the knight jumps to f5. Again challenging this knight there. Are they going towards a draw? But what about the pawn on b5? Is Oparin going to go rook d7, and is he going to play for a lot of compensation and dynamic play instead of a draw? That's a question. If Gukesh goes knight b5, what is it that you see for white? You don't see any immediate tactic. Nothing looks like hanging as such here. Everything is well defended. But if we say this is a weakness and this is a weakness, then two moves come to the mind. One is rook d5 and one is rook d7. With rook d5, it's a direct double attack where black seems like losing the pawn immediately with knight c3, rook takes e5, but he may win another pawn over here, and this is a good position to try for sure. So let us also see rook d7, which attacks the b7 pawn, and if you play b6, what is white having in plan? Oh, white just has in plan to keep pressure on black's position, yeah, not to allow this pawn to move and not to allow the rook to move easily. Wow. And this knight. So all the active pieces is white's compensation for a pawn. So this guy has made an amazing move, knight f5. It's going to be a big question for Gukesh whether he wants to take this and allow such activity to his opponent. I doubt. Or is there anything else? Because if he takes f5, then after ef5, this is a weakness. This is not what Gukesh can afford. So Oparin has played amazing chess. Wow. And this is now a big decision to Gukesh. What to do over here. He needs to really be careful. Oparin has 18 minutes. If you go to Nihal's game, what is happening there? G6, H4. He goes queen C7. C4 was played. What a move by Sanan. Hey, did it draw? Is it over? Is Gukesh's game over? Yes. Oh, Oparin offered a draw. And right now Gukesh said, let's analyze. So yes, somehow there was a Oparin did not give any chance over there. There was a bit of edge, but wasn't enough for sure. So it was draw. Let's go to next board. Maybe I can tell who Nihal is on board number 5, right? Let me just tell them. Because Nihal is on 5. No, Nihal is on 4.5, right? So Gukesh's game has ended in a draw with black. That's good. Nihal's game time advantage. Arjun's game, Prag game, काफी सारे game है. Nihal's, yeah, this is Nihal's game. Nihal looks like slightly in trouble. We actually both the games are very interesting. Do you want Arjun's game? Arjun is. Do you want the camera on Arjun's game? But let's go with Nihal's game because he is the next in terms of pairing right now. He is in bit of trouble there, whereas Arjun's game is, I think, coming closer to an end in a way. Bishop d6 has been played. Great move by Arjun. He is alert, not giving any chances. Oh, full board, full board. Yes, yes, yes. Prag camera, Nihal. Ah, oh, they've put Prags. Wait a second. Let me message them again. Ah, for Nihal they don't have. So where Nihal is sitting, it's not so easy to put the camera. That's what we've got the news. Right now they are placing the camera on Arjun's board. And this is Prag's game right now. His opponent captured on e5. If I must show you for a moment. Oh wow, d5, e5. Prag did play queen b7 and his opponent made a move rook e7 instead of rook a7. And this gives chances to Prag again to come back. He must go queen f4 or queen h4. That's what the computer suggests. And also we must remember with queen on f4, yeah, something like this must be a problem in the future. But great, great. Anything can happen. At least this is the current situation. Going to Arjun's game, let me make the board a little slightly bigger. Let me make the board bigger and let's go to Arjun's game. Bishop d6, no, his opponent is thinking. I think it's gonna take some while. Nihal's game moves are happening. Takes, rook c1 was played, a good move, and Nihal goes back queen b8. Maybe queen c6 challenging the queen was important, but going into an endgame with double bishop and majority on the king queen side doesn't look as easy decision. So he goes queen b8 thinking to have counterplay. What this one knight stops all the play for white over here, and But black does not have enough ideas. Worry. Yes, I am back. I am back. Everything is fine. I am back. Now reconnecting there my camera. Stay patient. This is at least better than complete new stream starting there. Whew. Is everything okay right now? Or is there a lag still? No lag. King pawn, there is no 40 move rule. So there is no lag. The camera has disappeared. Ah, okay. It has appeared. It is appearing again. How come I have a full screen there? Arjun's opponent, if you see, looks very, very stressed out. Okay, there we have. Arjun has played bishop d6 and his opponent is still thinking. 13 minutes on the clock. Not easy to find a move. Nihal's game, which we were looking at right now. Let's come here again, but let's go to Nihal's game currently. His opponent made a error. He played rook takes c4, but important was to capture the pawn with this bishop. This was important so that he keeps pressure on the f7 point. This rook remains tied down over here. So this was an important thing for him to do. But what happens with rook c4 is important. The reason why this allows Nihal, to kind of get some advantage slightly is a very, very good move found by Nihal. What a move! He is tactically also very alert, and he is just completely taking a simple theme here with him, which is the theme that he is right now going to use. Queen b3 was the move he finds, and there is a pin. You anyway cannot take here because of black to play. VPAD says Nihal will win this if he finds queen b3. Kya hi confidence. Of course, Nihal Bablu. Nihal Bablu is now going to get into form now because we are looking at Nihal's game. So queen d5 and this queen is hanging and all of you guys are awake. Your mind is working. The neurons are interacting. Well done. So queen b3, what a nice spin over there. Also, it's important that what is white going to do. Will a move like rook d1 do any good to him? Because you take, then he takes. But Nihal might get some play on this file now, which he has been wanting. And in fact, here the rook becomes very active, and this rook will need to become a blockader. But the worry for black is gone, as all the pressure on the king side is gone. He can start building his attack. He can start making white's pieces tied down. So queen b3 was a very alert move. It's an alert move. It's like opponent is having this pressure and then opponent makes a very small error. This is not a big error. It's a very small error. Because if Nihal doesn't go queen b3, he's still going to be in a worse position. He needs to use that opportunity. In sometimes opportunity knocks the door only once. It's important to use it. Sometimes opportunity says चल यार आज वापस मैं दरवाजा खटखटाता हूँ. So it depends on the mood of opportunity. Okay, let's not go there. But queen b3 and Sanan is now thinking. He has definitely given some chances to Nihal to equalize at least. If nothing, then to equalize. Arjun's game, after bishop d6, his opponent finally goes bishop g5. And Arjun is thinking, but look at him. He's not even looking at the board. Just look at Arjun. It's Arjun's move. And he's going to be looking at the board very less. He has this habit of looking just somewhere else. You know, it's his zone. Nikhil Roshan says, at my stage, I would have tried to bring my black bishop to f3 or rook to b7 for checkmate threat in Nihal's game. f3 पे नहीं जा रहा है, but you mean c3. I get it over there. Or rook to b7. You mean rook to b8. That's fair. That's fair. Nikhil. Nikhil says 300 watching. Please like. Yes, please like. Actually, लोगों पे थोड़ा थोड़ा अत्याचार हो रहा है निखिल. My stream has got ended. Then it has lagged. There is a real huge issue. Something is wrong. Either it is with router, but it's a deep technical issue. I do not know. But currently I have set up a few things on the laptop. If anything goes wrong for this stream, I am trying to set it up so that I don't take 5 minutes to make a comeback by restarting the computer. Okay, so bishop g5, and what is Arjun thinking about? Guys, ठीक है, you're winning, but what are the moves which come to your mind?